Hopefully COVID is getting to be more and more of a distant memory every single day. And in that, I have some special guests today. We got Johnny McDermott, we got Pete Stout from Blueprint Engines. We also got their buddies Brian, we got Kel, and we got Jose. They're out here to help do some training on Blueprint Engines, let us know what they're doing, and I figured I'd bring them back and let you guys know what's going on with Blueprint. Now, you know we sell a ton of these modular motors from Ford. On the other side, the guys like those push rod motors. There's nothing like a 427. There's nothing like an old school push rod motor with a carburetor on it. A lot of them are fuel injected these days. We're going to talk about those engines, and if you're buying one of those engines, more times than not, you're buying it from our partners at Blueprint. So let's go talk to these guys. I got a special car over here. This is our 20th anniversary car. Our 25th anniversary car has a nice little 427 Windsor put in. So guys, I got Johnny over here. I got Brian. I had to memorize these names. I got Jose, obviously Pete, and we got Kel over here from Blueprint. They did a tutorial this morning. Let us know what's going on. Johnny, talk to us about Blueprint customers, Factory 5 guys buying Factory 5 cars. What are the engines they're buying most of?
Oh, the 427 is hard to beat. They kind of want that big pavement pounder, just the nastiest thing you can have for the road. And that's where we have 3 flavors of 427. We have a 485 horse, a 523, and a 541. So the 427, that's the one, you fire it up, you can feel the ground shake. People come running just to see what it is. Ours is based on the 351 Windsor architecture, goes right in, comes with the front drive on it, comes with a transmission already bolted on. Just an awesome package for us. And then from there, we go down to a 347 based on a 302 deck engine.
Wait, 427 is your number one seller.
427 is, we sell the most Factory 5 packages that are the 427s. Yep.
All right, well, Dan, why are you guys, where's Dan? Hey, Dan. We had Dan here a second ago. If I'm on the phone with a guy, what's the number one reason the guy's buying this motor? What's the number? Well, no, that's not the number one reason. Let's just show you what the number one reason is. So this is our half mold mill, and we haven't even got past the 427. So you got 3 flavors of 351 Windsor strokes. You got a 427 making anywhere from high 4s to mid 5s.
Correct. Yep. 485 all the way up to 541.
All right. So if you go for the 541, you're the kind of guy that like you cut your butter with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I mean, you can call it overkill if you want. Famous quote, right? There's never too much horsepower, just not enough traction.
Well, that's what I like about this engine is right here. And I tell you, I know a lot of guys, Factory 5 customers, if they're building a Cobra replica, they go with this 427 because it just, the numbers match, right? And it's got that sound, it's got that, it's a pretty good value for what you're selling, making a pile of horsepower. I don't know with street tires if you can even use that horsepower, but it's such bragging rights. The earth just shakes and demons come out of the ground, and that's the motor. So second to this is?
Second to this would be a 347 package for us. So we start with a 302 based engine. We put a stroker kit in it, so we've got forged pistons, forged rods, steel crank. It's 410 horsepower is our dyno minimum. So any engine that we put out, we advertise it at a certain number. That's just the minimum it's going to make. So your dyno sheet that you actually get with your engine is going to show you what it actually made. But the 347 is an easy number 2 for us.
You know, Ford used to have that 347, and I think it was a 500 horse motor. That was no, they have a 363. This is a bargain. If I'm going from a 302 or a 306 up to a 347, it's how much more money? I mean, maybe it's just another $500, $1,000, and you're getting 400 plus horse.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, we do have a 306 package, which is just a 302 engine for us, but to go from a 306 package up to a 347, I think it's $800 right now. So it's kind of a killer, and it's kind of a no-brainer not to just jump into that 347, get forged pistons, forged rods, steel crank, only $800-900. It's kind of a killer.
Yeah, people always ask about engines because they want to know what's that sweet spot. And honestly, I'm telling you, this is too much horsepower. It is. And one of the things I like, it's a 2,000-pound car. That 400 horsepower range is such a sweet spot. If you look at the Coyotes, the first-gen Coyotes were 415, 420 horse. We dynoed them at like 390 rear wheel. Even the Gen 3s are like 460 horse. 400 horse is a sweet spot. It's fun to drive. It's fast. Now, it's not going to go 180 miles an hour, but you don't want to be going 180 miles an hour in this car. It's not real aerodynamic. After the 347s, what's the also ran? So is it the 306 model or is it something else?
Yeah, I'd say in the Mark IV, the 306 would be the next popular one, I would say. So 306 down from the 347, and again, that's the guy who might maybe have a son he's building with in high school, doesn't quite want to hit that 400 horsepower threshold, goes for the 306, saves himself $800, feels a little bit more responsible putting his kid in it, we'll say. But the cool thing about our engines is they're all streetable. So they have a nice roller cam, they sound great, but it's streetable horsepower, pump gas engine, 30-month, 50,000 mile warranty. So even though it's got the potential to just be a pavement pounder, it's got all that horsepower, it's gonna be as responsible as your foot's gonna be. So you can still drive it on the street and keep it pretty tame.
All right, so what about the hot rod? We got a 33. Owner of your company has a 33. Steel body, one of our first ones. What's going in that? I mean, if you talk to my guys, it's small block Ford and Chevy split down the middle, and now there's a lot of guys doing LS motors. A lot of guys running the modular stuff, but on the push rod stuff, it really is kind of split evenly between the small block Fords and Chevys. And then what are you guys doing on the hot rod side?
Sure. So for a hot rod, like Dave said, owner of our company has one of the 33s, and his 80-something-year-old father drives that car, and it has one of our 306 small block Ford packages in it. We do sell a lot of small block Chevys for them, but we've also seen the LS package come around, and it's almost a 3-tier split on the hot rod chassis to whether it's going to be one of our small block Fords, a small block Chevy, or the LS has really come around as well.
All right, so this is an infomercial, right? Why do you buy a Blueprint? I'll tell you why, but they stand behind their product. I mean, we can sell engines with anybody, and we've worked at Blueprint for a long time. We collaborate, we go to shows and events. If you know Factory 5, you know that we collaborate. We don't build a single car. Every Factory 5 you see is built by somebody else, so it's not really a Factory 5. We build the chassis and the parts here, right? So we're in collaboration with our customers. Well, in the truest sense, we're the same with our suppliers, and Blueprint stands behind their product. This is a testament. This motor grenaded. We had an exhaust valve spring, exhaust valve. I think it was just a spring that went bad, right?
Keeper popped out.
Yep.
Okay, and you guys stood behind it. You replaced it, did all the machine work. I don't think we even paid for shipping. I just shipped it over to you guys. So they stand behind their product, and that in the world of aftermarket, you know, I'm just going to tell you, somebody that's reliable, that's going to stand behind their product is worth their weight in gold. Motors make good power. They drop in easy. They're put together complete, so you're not putting your transmission, your bell housing, your clutch, your throttle, all your stuff together. You're just doing that one-stop shop. But more than that, I think they collaborate with us, and we have a lot of fun. I like their motors a lot. What's new? You got LS stuff coming on. You got castings. What's going on at the factory? Because your factory makes our shop look like a wooden cobbler den. You know, I mean, you guys are doing stuff. So what's new at Blueprint?
Sure. So we have a 150,000 square foot facility, a big operation. We do anywhere between 50 and 70 engines a day. So we are pretty good size as a manufacturer. Something very new and very cool that's coming down the pipeline for us is traditionally to do a small block Ford, we've used the small block Ford core block, and then we've taken it, everything gets thrown out, and we keep the block, check it over, and we build our small block Fords from there. We're actually developing a small block Ford based Blueprint block, which will be our tooling, our casting, just like we do with our small block Chevy and our big block Chevy engines already. It's going to truly be a Blueprint block. In a small block 302 deck, we'll be able to go out to like a 365, and our 427s are going to have our Blueprint block. So pretty cool to see us getting into that small block Ford area too in the new block casting.
So more and more tooling, more and more technology. Hey Dano, let's see if there's any questions. Usually I try to do my phone and there's like questions left and right. I can't answer a lot of those after the fact. What are some questions you guys hear at the factory, at the plant? You're talking to Factory 5 customers. A lot of guys are calling up and saying, hey, what engine should I use? What are some of the questions you hear? And Pete, you know, anything you want anybody to know about Blueprint?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we've done is we've worked in partnership with Factory 5, our engineers and our product management team, to take not only the crate engine, but we're finding front accessory drives and transmissions that fully fit turnkey. So if you take a look, this half body is a perfect example of it. Everything from the front end accessory drive all the way through the transmission, those are all assembled and manufactured at our facility and shipped directly to the customer's door. So if you guys are considering purchasing a kit, the same way that kit arrives at your front stoop or your front garageway, we're gonna have the same thing with these engine packages. They'll go there. Whole thing's dyno tested, 30-month, 50,000 mile warranty. We're just trying to make it easy. You know, don't have to worry about different front end accessory drives, what doesn't fit onto the package. Everything's engineered and designed to work with each one of the Factory 5 chassis.
Yeah, I think the numbers matter. I mean, you get a great motor. It's really cool to have that dyno sheet to say, hey, you know, it's making this much power. And I mean, honestly, I think your bigger 427 motors, I think they got too much carburetor. You're getting a lot of power that way, and I get it. I like to knock that. We're running a 750 Holly on this. I think it came with an 850. Maybe I'm making a little less power, but a lot better torque. But I got to tell you, if you want that number, you're going to get that number. And I mean, you're paying a good amount of money, but you're getting a tremendous amount of performance for the dollar and a company that's going to stand behind the product. Dano, if you got any questions, I know some guys were asking about the F9 in the background. We got an update on the F9 coming, but some of the questions and also from you guys that they hear, what do you got?
All I basically see here is just a couple guys are looking in on lead times, guys. Anything you can kind of elaborate?
Lead times, I got to know this, 'cause our lead, we're in summer right now.
Everybody help each other.
It's right now. It's a great question. You know, we've been very fortunate with the COVID and where it's really negatively affected so many people. We've been very fortunate that our industry has benefited from that. So it's hard to say because there's been so much suffering, but it's long right now. It's probably anywhere from around 12 weeks, and you know, it's dependent upon what product it is. Although we own about 80% of the content that goes within an engine, we're still buying carburetors from Holley. We're still buying EFI systems from Holley. You know, we've got some other components that we sub out, and so we are at the mercy of some other vendors. So if everybody can just be patient with everything, I bought a couch, 4 months ago, and I still don't have it. So it's a peculiar time that we're at, where lead times on everything are stretching out there. Our facility is actually working 6 days a week, and we just put in a third shift. And so we're doing everything we can from a manufacturing standpoint to keep our lead times down. But the fact of the matter is, right now, we're kind of at the lead time of subcomponents. But it's a great question.
I can reflect that. I mean, our supply side, everything from shocks and interior components and parts that we're buying have been really problematic. It's been a real challenge. So we've been buying more and more inventory to stock up and kind of anticipate that. But we can only make so many cars a week, and I'm not going to make more. And I think that demand at home right now, a lot of people are home, and this isn't going to last forever. So what we don't want to do is just get into all fire and hurry and push stuff out the door. We are having some challenges in inventory, and it's affecting other parts of the department, but of the company. But I think we're doing it right, and I think Blueprint is too. It's challenging. We're in summer right now. I mean, Dano, where are you on lead time on kits right now?
We are into July on all kits. Doesn't matter if it's a roadster, a hot rod, a coupe. We're literally out to July. So for any of you guys who've been watching us for a little while and wanted to order a kit, our usual lead time about a year and a half ago was 4 to 6 weeks. This is now borderline 16 weeks.
Yeah,
so
6 months.
this is something that's unheard of, unprecedented, and we're at full capacity. We're making 2 cars a day, cranking. So that's 10 cars a week, and we're out that far. So it's pretty crazy. Our lead times, some of our manufacturers' lead times have also gone up. Willwood Brakes takes about 8 to 10 weeks right now, where usually they were 2 to 4. So just about anyone you talk to in the auto parts industry, the lead times are just through the roof. Everybody's building stuff. Everybody's retrofitting, upgrading. Everybody's basically working on cars, which is good.
But the good news is it gives you a little bit of time to plan your project.
Correct.
I mean, for us, 4 to 6 months isn't the end of the world. It gives you time to plan what engine you're going to put in your car, where you're going to paint it, how you're going to put the parts, where you're going to build it. I've got, go around, what kind of cars do you guys drive? I've got 2 60s cars that are not factory 5s. I got a 66 Ford Fairlane that is looking for a crate motor. I'm looking for a deal here for a crate motor. And and also got a 68 VW bus that does not have a Blueprint motor in it. It has a 30 horsepower motor in it. Lucky, we did 0 to 60 with the kids, and we never got to 60. So it's a pretty sweet ride. Anyway, but so Johnny, what are you driving these days?
I got a Dodge Dart 408 small block car, runs 10s. I got a Plymouth Roadrunner project that's gonna possibly get a Gen 3 Hemi, which will be kind of a Blueprint experimental vehicle.
Right on.
Got an old K10 Chevy I mess around with. Got a pre-runner Ram truck. So.
All right, you're bragging too much.
Oh, sorry,
You're
I'll
making me
stop.
feel like.
I'll stop.
What do you got? What are you rocking out there, Pete?
I've got one of the mall crawler Jeeps. So I got a Jeep that looks like it's out in Moab, but it like you mentioned earlier, I've seen a pothole or two. That's about
Right
it.
on. Dana, what do you got? You got a little bit of a livery there.
Well, I've got a 56 Oldsmobile 88 that's got an LS swap going in it. For those of you guys who see my hoodie here, you can see I'm an LS guy. I do have a Gen 3 Factory 5 Daytona Coupe. I'm sure a lot of you know that. That's got a twin turbo 6-liter LS in it. Dave was mentioning earlier about having too much horsepower. I preach the same thing, but that car makes 624 at the tire. So I have it, but I'll be the first to tell you, it's a little tough to handle. In addition to that, I've also got a 2016 GT350 Mustang with the 5.2 Voodoo flat plane crank. And I'll tell you, at 8250 RPM, nothing else sounds better. Really doesn't. Oh my God. Oof.
What do you gentlemen running? Cal, you're the tall man, you're the dark horse here. What do you got?
So most recent one that I just got, just bought a '89 OBS. My son just turned 15, so we're going to be restoring and building that. It's going to get one of our small block 396s.
Nice. What about you, Jose? You're new to the deal. You're from SoCal?
Well, I mean, I've been living in Nebraska my whole life essentially, but I got an 08 GMC Sierra with the 6.0 swap in it, so.
Does everybody have a car with the original engine in it?
No.
What are you rocking, Brian?
I actually don't have toys. I spend most of my time working on everybody else's.
That's a good answer. He's working for all you. These guys are partying. He's working.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's my hobby. I play with cars. I do have an 06 Avalanche that I like to keep nice. It's my baby. But as far as I've had a few toys in the past, but right now I just work on everybody else's.
Well, that's the thing is that, Blueprint is part of the community, and these guys are building cars. They're building and buying and driving, what they sell. And so when you're building a car, you're building it with people who are like-minded. And when you're talking on the phone with Dan, he just built his own Daytona coupes. When he's talking about how to put the shocks in, or his rear end, or his ride height, or anything else, he's already done it. And that's kind of what's so important about our company is you have to be in this lifestyle. And Blueprint's definitely one of our communities. So they're present on the forums. They're definitely on their own forums and their own discussion stuff. They're on Facebook. I think tomorrow you got Steve Magnani coming out, right?
Yeah, yep.
He's on crack. I mean, I can't get a word in edgewise.
He's crazy, but he's gonna be here tomorrow. Yeah. We'll do some Facebook Live stuff tomorrow, but he's doing some videos for Blueprint to kind of bring more information on their community to a wider audience. But guys, any question you got, we'll go through. Dano, we can answer online. Sure. But Facebook Live, I will be here tomorrow, and we'll have Magnani here and maybe get some B-roll stuff with him.
Yeah, maybe if they want to see what they'd like to see us talk about with Magnante. So if there's something we didn't cover today, whether it's on any one of the different kits or any one of the different engine options, like I said, drop comments in there, questions, we'll answer those, and then we can use that as something to address on the video tomorrow.
And that guy knows his cars. I mean, he works for Barrett Jackson. I know he's done. I don't know if it's Meekum or Barrett. I think he's at Barrett.
Yeah.
Man, there's not a car that comes across the block that he doesn't know stuff. And it's not just a fact sheet. It's stuff that he knows off the top of his head. He's just really amazing. So, guys, Factory 5, Dave, out. Thanks to Blueprint, guys.